Muy buenas, brujeros, aquí Buge, jugando The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Y hoy vamos a continuar con la misión principal, por fin. Y hoy vamos a estrenar ya nuestra Iron Date, que la tenemos aquí preparada, ya sabéis. Es la espada que conseguimos en el capítulo anterior, que nos proporcionó la Dama del Lago. Y bueno, también tengo que deciros, que no lo dije en el capítulo anterior, y es que he limpiado ya todo el mapa. O sea, todos los puntos de interés ya están todos hechos. Así que ya lo único que me queda ya es centrarme en la misión principal y las secundarias que puedan salir de ahora en adelante. Así que sin más ni más, vamos a empezar. Vamos a reunirnos con Regis aquí, en el cementerio.
Regis!
Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be another way in around here.
Vale, pues hay otra forma de entrar. A ver, aquí hay un... Aquí hay un enemigo. Vale, es abajo. Vale, se puede entrar por aquí.
Stench, geeky wars. Have victuals aplenty.
Mientras no nos hagan daño, vamos a ir mejorando la espada. Ya tiene 10 cargas. Vale, aquí tengo algo más de comida. Aquí está.
Geeky more eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash. Decaying bones. Geeky Moors must have tunneled into the grave.
Vale, pues creo que lo que toca es quemarlos. No se pueden... Quería ver si conseguía cargas de la espada.
Some stench.
Vale, ya hemos mejorado en uno las cargas. Y el daño se supone que es permanente. O sea, ahora hace de 542 a 662. Luego más adelante miramos si hace más daño. Pero lo importante es que para acumular cargas es que no me den. Y ya sabéis que yo suelo atacar un poco de manera salvaje. Así que voy a procurar ir siempre con Queen. ¿Qué hay aquí? ¿Está aquí Regis? Ahí está Regis.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Detlef wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Ya sabéis que Detlef es el villano aquí, o por lo menos es lo que se quiere llegar a entender.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims.
La mano de
found
Detlef.
by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
Vale.
It's Detlef's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Vale, ¿para qué quieres usar la mano?
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kermorin, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests.
Reyes ha vivido
It's
mucho
complicated.
tiempo.
So, without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Detlef was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Detlef's hideout.
Vale, la procedencia del anillo.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Detlef. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
¿No puedes invocar a Detlef?
Can't you just summon Detlef? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Detlef. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Está bien. Prepara el extracto.
Kovinaris spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Detlef's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Vale. A ver cómo conseguimos los ingredientes para el extracto. Se mueve. Sigue moviéndose esa mano. Me da mal rollo.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren.
Uy, qué
Perhaps they'll
práctico.
find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would, with all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Bueno, vamos a beber.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
Tengo muchos secretos.
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask indirectly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Bueno, ¿dónde has estado y qué has estado haciendo?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, from my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Sí.
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Literalmente. Si queréis verlo, está en una lista de reproducción en mi canal.
Absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
Vale, ¿cómo es estar muerto?
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Todo relativo. Bueno, como sabéis, Regis, digamos que es un vampiro vegano. O sea, no se le mata para beber sangre. O, por el contrario, se alimenta de pequeños animales.
Got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start? Blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Vale, ¿cómo la regeneración?
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detloff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
Correcto. Eran los primeros juegos.
But Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Vale, esa imagen creo que representa a Melitele. ¿Hay algo que quieras preguntarme?
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a
Claro,
witcher?
Geralt es que no conoce otra cosa que ser brujo, pero si por él fuera, yo creo que preferiría ser otra persona.
That's what interests you most? Whether I'd like to be a witcher again?
Many things interest me, but we've not much time left. Please answer.
Never chose to be a witcher. Fate chose for me. Had it been my choice, I'd have picked a different profession. A profession where I wouldn't have to risk my life every minute of every day. Maybe even one that had earned me some respect.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Vale, pues nos toca esperar al pajarito a ver si viene con noticias de las criaturas que necesitamos. A ver. Ya ha llegado.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Que yo sepa, no, nos agradece el cumplido.
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the whites survived entirely unmolested.
¿Qué es eso de una maldición?
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something.
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Vale, ¿y lo de la criatura?
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Vale, pues vamos a visitar a la criatura.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Vale, pues dirijámonos para allá. Vamos a llamar a la sardinilla, que está un poco lejos. A ver, criatura moteada en el bestiario, a ver. ¿Qué tipo de criatura es? No es un constructo. Es un necrófago. Pues por si acaso no funcionara, pues ir de Ning son buenas y ninguna bomba en particular. Pero yo quiero intentar no matar a la criatura moteada, la verdad. A ver, vamos por aquí. Vemos este área. O hago un corte, no sé qué haré. Tampoco está tan lejos, realmente. Como siempre el GPS indicándome por dónde no es. Y Sardinilla se atasca con nada. Venga, salta la valla, Sardinilla. A ver, por ahora este camino. ¿Una misión secundaria aquí? Vamos a hacerla, ¿no? Ya que estamos. Me temo que este hombre no está vivo.
What? Oh, but he breathed still a moment ago.
Breathed his last then. Bled to death. Legs broken. Femoral arteries ruptured. Wound like that, you're dead in minutes.
Gods.
What happened here exactly?
I was rolling through, fully loaded, when I heard screams. This one crawled towards the road, then drooped to the ground, lost consciousness. I jumped down to help him, dress his wounds. Then you appeared.
Mi abuela chamusquina ayudando a un extraño es admirable. Bueno.
Pretty admirable stopping to help a stranger.
Truthfully, when I saw him, I considered it might be an ambush. The thought entered my mind, I near decided to crack the whip. But to abandon a man in need?
No,
it's simply not the decent thing to do.
Decent enough in many other places, believe me. Before you go on, clean your hands thoroughly and burn your shirt. Might also want to rub some thyme on your body to be sure. Smell of blood might attract ghouls otherwise.
Sí, ya
Who
sabemos
might you be,
lo de los ghouls.
precisely?
A witcher.
Oh. Do you expect some beast might have killed him?
Me da igual, adiós. No, vamos a intentar averiguarlo.
See what we have here. Legs broken, but cause of death's the wound. Small but deep, edges unfrayed. Either a thrust weapon or a thick claw. Maybe a wyvern's. Tough to say, and... breastplate's unusual. Dented. And it's got a patina.
An antiquity, I believe. I deal in these things, so... what's puzzling is... why did he don it?
Not likely to learn that from him.
No, ¿verdad?
Now to figure out where he came from. From that house, I'm assuming, but need to investigate. Got some work to do. So long.
Wait, I will come with you.
¿Estás seguro? ¿Y si me va a emboscar él? Bueno, me da un poco igual, la verdad. Pero me tomas el pelo. Es que en vez de eso, en vez de decir es peligroso, ¿me tomas el pelo? Ah, bien, vamos, venga.
So be it. But stay close, keep it down, and don't touch a thing. Trail leads to the house on the hill.
Which stands silent as a grave.
Must have been here he broke his legs. Fell while climbing over the wall. Trying to leave the property probably, after he didn't manage to open the gate.
Vale, pues vamos a entrar.
Damn it.
Good gods!
What the hell's this? Setting for a banquet?
It seems so. What's your suspicion? Did none survive? Gods!
No creo que hayan sido envenenados.
Servant. Stabbed to death. Over a dozen blows with a sharp object. Some post-mortem.
I cannot believe this is the work of a man. It was a monster, to be sure.
Silver tableware. Elven engravings. Torso punctured with great force. Blow pierced hardened steel. Man on the high road. Breastplate was identical. Throats massacred. One mighty blow. Shield along sides old and dented. Sword ceremonial. And Shea handiwork clearly.
Entonces, ¿qué ha pasado aquí?
Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices.
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices.
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Burn marks. Something catch fire. Explode. Strong stench. Multiple wounds on the body. All puncture wounds, but hard to tell what caused them. Victim's human, but the attire's elven.
Are you certain? How did he come by it? We've so few non-humans in Tucson.
En Tucson, como mucho, hemos visto sobre todo enanos.
Fled, then dropped to the ground to douse the flames. Didn't manage. Burnt smells growing fainter. Might have been another luckier soul managed to flee. Doublet scorched. Wriggled out of it, tossed it, then ran on.
Vale, ¿es posible que encontremos a alguien vivo?
Perhaps there's no one inside after.
I know you're in there. Breathing's loud and clear. Open up. We mean you no harm.
They remain there?
¿Quién? Vamos a empezar primero con quién eres.
Listen, I'm a witcher. I'm here to help you. But if that's gonna happen, you gotta answer some questions first. Who are you exactly?
Durant Faucher Plamondon de Safaran, Lord of these lands, and Chairman of the Society of Friends of the History of Tucson. We meet here annually to mark the anniversary of the Elfin Homage, but something like this, why, it's a first.
¿Pero qué habéis hecho?
You mentioned them. Who do you mean?
Those, I don't know what they were, spirits. It all occurred of a sudden. We were staging a scene, the death of paying homage. There was a flash of light that blinded me completely. I heard cries, though saw nothing. Then felt my own robes were in flames. I broke and ran, threw off my doublet, leapt in here, and it shut and locked the door behind me. They pounded on the door. I thought they would get through. I thought I was done for, but in the end, it grew calm.
So while reenacting a scene from the past, somehow, unintentionally, you summoned a specter, a Korgorath, or a tube, maybe.
What? What now?
Best thing? You gotta do it again, of course.
Otra vez el ritual.
Would you have this thing kill us?
No, don't want it to kill anyone. Precisely why I gotta do my job. Summon it again, whatever it is, and tend to it once and for all. Durand, think I can reenact the pledge? The giving of homage, alone?
It was a great, momentous event. The surrender of Tucson's last elfin king. You will need at least 3 individuals.
Vaya, qué casualidad. Somos 3 personas. Es que no quiero exponerlos. O bueno, es que me dan un poco igual, la verdad. ¿Puedo contar con vuestra ayuda?
I'm gonna ask for. Need your help. But I'll understand if you turn me down. No objections? Good. Let's get to work. Start by clearing the corpses. Got some time. Won't start the reenactment before nightfall. Things of this sort are a lot more likely to work after dusk. One last thing, though. My pay. Don't work for free, you know.
Understood. Just keep the danger at bay, and I shall be generous. Through and through.
Sí, aquí no vamos a regatear. Esto no es un contrato de brujo.
I will stand, or rather, sit in for King Ludovic upon the elfin throne, while you, Witcher, will play the Enche ruler. We must don the costumes. All must be just right.
Divethaf, the elven king, hosted Ludovic in his own palace upon his own throne, amidst the blinding glow of a plethora of torches.
Hombre, aquí lo que tiene por disfraces es ponerse unas máscaras y ya está. A ver qué.
Don't interrupt.
No, no quiero hablar. Quiero eso, encenderlas.
Divethaf laid at Ludovic's feet a loaf of binnen and elfin bread, thus granting humans rule over sea-yielding lands.
Espérate, delante del trono. Ah, vale, que son 2 cuencos.
Divethaf filled the ornate ceremonial bowls with elfin wine, Gwinoet, the sweetest blood of the land that had been torn from him. At long last, the elfin king grasped his sword and shield, thus symbolically passing command of his armies to humans.
Ah, que los use, un momento. Vale, supongo que estarán en objetos de misión. ¿Y ahora qué? Ah, vale, está aquí.
Elven king, erect in
Vale,
his
no
pride,
había entendido
drew
bien.
his blade and dropped to his knees, thus acknowledging his final defeat. Ludovic then spake.
I accept your allegiance and shall return in 1 year's time to...
Vale, esto es lo que ha pasado.
Ah! Look! Look! The statues!
Impossible. God's mother!
¿Quieren pelear? A ver, vamos a equiparnos como tiene que ser. La mía de acero. Cuidado, que me matan. Esta es la culpable. ¡Ah! Vamos a intentarlo otra vez. Es que hay 2 hechiceras. Eso me está molestando un montón. Ya sabéis que a mí los atacantes a distancia me tocan mucho las narices. Pero cuando es de un sitio que no puedo ver desde dónde me están atacando... Es que caen del cielo. Venga, vamos a buscarla a las hechiceras. Vale, una menos. Vale, al menos la mitad están envenenados. Ah, sí, con trampita.
The sculptures, they came alive. By what witchcraft?
Dunno. Specialize in killing monsters. Reviving them, not so much.
I may know what happened. The statues, you see, once stood in the palace of one Defethov. I acquired them a month past because perhaps I should start at the
Vamos, que
beginning.
las estatuas están malditas.
This Defethov was to pay tribute to humans, producing statues of this sort each year. Yet he did so but once, for he perished in the massacre of non-humans at the foot of Mount Gorgon in the year 782. It's fortunate he did too, as Defethov had planned Ludovic's downfall, for he sculpted not statues, but columns that masqueraded as such. Columns activated with words said in homage. Columns that would have turned the king and his bodyguards into so much colorful confetti.
Typical. Treachery embodied. Elves. Psheh.
Los humanos no son mejores que los
You're no
elfos.
better. Elves were just defending their territory. You humans took it, but you still weren't sated. Had to cut the elves down, every last one.
You? What does that mean? You're a man as we are.
Yeah, in a way. Just ashamed to have to admit it sometimes.
Your words, they're wrong, Witcher. But I'll not let you leave empty-handed. Take this, reward.
Farewell.
Vale, 300 coronas hemos conseguido. Vale, vamos a seguir un poquito de saqueo por aquí. Y ponerme mis mis armas. Aunque esta es peor. Pero forma parte del set, así que... A ver, ¿se puede entrar aquí? No. ¿Y de dónde he rescatado a este señor? Tampoco. Eso sí, he encendido una antorcha que había dentro. Pues mira que tenía que salir estatuas en vez de... en vez de monstruos. Y así podría haber mejorado la Ironite. Vale, vamos camino a la...
Faster.
a la casa de las cucharas. Aunque creo que lo voy a dejar por aquí porque no quiero hacer los vídeos muy largos esta vez. Aparte que no tengo tiempo. Pero al menos quiero llegar... quiero llegar a la mansión. Mira, boiras. Venga, vamos a despedir el vídeo aquí con un combate. A ver, creo que hay otra, ¿eh?
Our guests. Never a good omen.
A los bargues. Son monstruos al fin y al cabo también. Así que... A ver, por aquí hay otro. Sí, hay otro bargues. Vale, tengo 10 cargas. ¿He llegado ya por casualidad a la casa de las cucharas? Parece que sí, ¿eh? Mirad, aquí están. Vale, estoy detectando más bargays por aquí.
Regis' raven wasn't lying. Spoons.
Me había parecido ver otro por ahí, pero bueno, no pasa nada.
Strange. Get a sense that the spoons are beating out some kind of rhythm. A message. Trying to tell me something.
Vale, pues vamos a intentarlo. Aquí hay un montón de cucharas, como podéis ver. A ver, aquí hay otro cobertizo. Aquí no se puede acceder, por supuesto. Venga, voy a pasar un poquito más. A ver, digo que no tengo tiempo, pero aún tengo un ratito. Si veo que puedo hacerlo ahora, bien.
None shall sit and dine with you at your table. No spoon you have shall say to you. Never again shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror.
Vale, eso es la maldición.
Sounds like a curse, all right. Somebody's clearly obsessed. Regis mentioned the place might be cursed. Can't be a coincidence. Need to look around. A pigsty. Need to search it thoroughly. Find a way to collect some white saliva. White's obsessed. A real collector. Thoroughbred. Spoon. Pretty ordinary. Maybe a little old.
A ver qué hay aquí. Un diario, vale. Creo que esto hay que leerlo. A ver. Llevo unos días sufriendo mareo, nunca me había pasado algo semejante. Si esto sigue así, que no soporto la brujería ni la hechicería. Tendré que visitar a un herborista. Los mareos no cesan y lo peor de todo es que también siento dolores tan fuertes que a veces no puedo ver. He ido a la herborista, una vieja moira repulsiva que me ha mirado como si hubiera visto un monstruo. Me ha dado una maldita mezcla que tengo que tomarme 2 veces al día. No me está sirviendo de nada. Hoy, como cada día, me he mirado al espejo y me he quedado sin palabras. Solo comprobar que no me haya salido ninguna arruga y que no tenga bolsas en los ojos. Pero hoy no hay arrugas. No habría preferido que las hubiera. No, pero habría preferido que las hubiera. Me está saliendo pelo en los pechos. Es horrible. Tiene que ser culpa de esas condenadas hierbas. Fui a romper los morros al arborista, pero su morada estaba vacía. Debía de saber que lo que me ocurriría es alargado. Aunque me quito los pelos, mi familia está empezando a sospechar algo y cada vez crecen más rápido. He intentado sacarme la idea de la cabeza, pero no puedo aguantarlo más. Puede que no fueran las hierbas las que me han llevado a esto, sino una maldición de un viejo mendigo que me quité de encima una vez. Tengo que averiguarlo. Quiero contratar a alguien que pueda encontrar al arborista. No puedo pensar con claridad, cada vez se me hace más difícil escribir. Soledad, sin familia, comer, quiero comer, no hay cuchara buena, cucharas vacías. Nada, comer duele, espejo, mentiras, no. ¡Ah!
Poor girl. Realized she was changing into a monster. Recorded it in her diary.
Esto me recuerda mucho a Resident Evil 1.
Spoons incredible. The craftsmanship must have graced a rich man's table.
A ver qué más hay por aquí. Las cucharas.
Smashed mirror. As if someone couldn't stand to look at themselves. The monster. Journal's author, maybe?
Bueno, eso sin tener que mirar el espejo yo lo sabía que era el... A ver, ¿dónde más hay que ir? No sé, ¿qué otro sitio?
Whatever lives here treated that literally. Still searching for the right spoon. Another spoon. Yep, just as normal as the last one.
Pues me ha vibrado el medallón, no sé. En ese momento. Llave y cuchara.
Sophisticated crafting. Tag bears a description. White's a true collector.
Lee la nota adjunta a la cuchara. Certificado de objeto apto para ser subastado. Una antigua llave y cuchara formada en el taller de Christopherson e hijos 1210. Perteneciente a Smigol Serkis, dueño del paisán. Esto de Smigol Serkis, por si queréis saber, hace referencia a Andy Serkis, que es el actor que le dio vida a Gollum o Smigol en El Señor de los Anillos. Y le han llamado Smigol Serkis. Muy buena esta, ¿eh? Cada vez me sorprende más este juego. Vale, esta es la misma maldición que hemos leído a la entrada de la casa. Vale, aquí ha pasado algo.
Skeletons. Doubt they came here willingly. This have anything to do with the curse? None shall sit and dine with you at your table. It'd make sense.
Y el medallón está vibrando a más no poder.
Neck, indentation in the skull's lateral surface. Smacked in the head with something heavy. Right on, bit right off. Teeth all knocked out. Somebody tried to force feed him. No claw or fang marks. Probably choked to death. None shall sit and dine with you at your table.
Sí, es la misma maldición. Está escrita por toda la casa.
Shall you wish to spy your reflection in the mirror? Woman's name scratched into this wooden spoon. Romantic.
Ahora vamos a leer la carta. Querido Maese Levassier, sé que lleváis daños ganando la vida persiguiendo criminales, pero tengo un encargo para vos algo inusual. Probablemente os preguntaréis por qué hemos llegado a este punto y por qué no podemos reunirnos en persona. Veréis, en mi situación actual cualquier tipo de reunión es muy arriesgada, no tanto para mí, sino para la persona con la que me reúnan. Pero eso no importa. La cuestión es que estoy afectada por una maldición, o como así espero y siendo la razón por la que he contactado con vos, por los efectos secundarios de una medicina que me administró una herborista hace tiempo. El problema es que poco después de visitarla desapareció sin dejar rastro. Deseo desesperadamente llegar al fondo de mi afección, y por eso pretendo contrataros. Quiero que encontréis a cierta mujer que se ganaba el sustento vendiendo hierbas medicinales por estos lares. Cuando lo encontréis, sacadle toda la información que podáis sobre la medicina que me administró. Si mi sufrimiento ha resultado de su crueldad, conseguid que os dé un antídoto. No os arrepentiréis, pues soy pudiente y no escatimaré a la hora de pagaros por vuestros servicios. Si os toca mi sufrimiento no es culpa del arborista, dejadla ir, por favor, porque eso significará que estoy bajo la influencia de una terrible maldición de la cual solo los dioses pueden librarme, y que debía de ser lanzada por un mendigo que se me acercó a la mansión una noche en la que había invitado a unos amigos. Si podéis encontrar a ese vagabundo, os pagaré el doble. Por desgracia, la única característica distintiva que recuerdo que puedo ayudar a poneros sobre la pista es que vendía espejos. Sé que no es gran cosa, pero es que es mejor que nada. Confío en vuestro gran talento y os deseo buena suerte. ¿Gaunter Odin? Creo que esto es obra de Odín. O sea, de Odín, mejor dicho. Gaunter Odin. O sea, el villano de la primera expansión de Hearts of the Stone. El hombre espejo. Vale, aquí hay un piso más abajo. Ah, pero antes de bajar me están pidiendo que pregunte a la dueña del Faisán. No sé si seguir investigando, ¿eh? Vamos a guardar la partida, por si acaso. Por si acaso me encuentro algo aquí que no...
Actually does seem like a white's lair. Bit atypical, but still. Cauldron should be somewhere around here.
A ver, un momento. Vale, parece que la hemos completado. No, vamos a preguntar por el Faisán. Quiero asegurarme. Esto es lo que he guardado ahora mismo. Venga, vamos a hacerla. A ver, lo que no sé si aquí hay un marcador o un... Bueno, ya sabéis, un poste para el viaje rápido. Vale, pues no voy a continuar por aquí. Porque quiero conseguir todas las pistas. Porque a lo mejor es así como se puede deshacer la maldición. Vale, ¿hay algún indicador por aquí? ¿Viaje rápido? Sí, aquí está. Vale, por si acaso es que me ha parecido ir un Bargeist. Aquí está. Vamos a intentar mejorar la espada. Que por cierto, vamos a mirar el daño que tiene ahora. De 544 a 664. No es... A ver, el daño aumenta en 4 hasta un máximo de 10, dependiendo del nivel. Al matar a un enemigo con una espada cargada al completo, se agota su carga y el daño del arma aumenta de forma permanente. Pues yo creo que no, ¿eh? A ver, vamos al Faisán desde la gran plaza. El Faisán creo que es ahí donde hicimos el torneo de Wind. Venga, a ver si carga ya esto. Venga.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
La banda sonora, como siempre digo, es una pasada. Sí que parece que sea aquí. Aquí fue donde hicimos el torneo de Wind. Vale, esto no es el Faisán, esto es la casa que hay al lado. Esto es el phasing.
Welcome to the pheasant tree.
Vale, ¿has visto alguna vez una cuchara como esta?
Spoon like this. When you set a place, where's it go?
My oh my. It seems rather a fanciful bouillon spoon. Or a key of some sort. There's a note here.
Yeah, note led me here. Any idea what the key might open?
Never seen it before. But you might search the cellars. The previous owner left all sorts of knickknacks there.
Sabía yo que venir aquí nos iba a ayudar, ¿eh?
See you later.
Did you guess a sweet
Ah,
shining sun?
registra la bodega. A ver, ¿dónde está la bodega? Hombre, yo la bodega la pondría en un subterráneo, la verdad. Con su permiso, voy a entrar a la bodega. Y de paso, pues, llevarme algún que otro vinito. Hay un viejo panfleto, aunque esto creo que da igual. Esto lo voy a leer por encima. Si lo queréis leer, ya sabéis, pausáis el vídeo y lo leéis tranquilamente. Vale, esto está cerrado, pero aquí hay algo. Vale, esto sí que es interesante. A ver, el libro contiene ciertas recetas, pero en lugar de recetas de conejo a la Beauclair, en la última página solo hay unas cuantas líneas escritas de forma confusa. Por sería supurante de Levioda, he examinado decenas de manuscritos élficos. He examinado decenas, que diga. Decenas de manuscritos élficos y por fin lo he encontrado. Ya sé lo que abre la llave cuchara que compré en la subasta. Es nada menos que la llave del legendario estudio de Ramsés Gorton, el sacerdote élfico de la diosa Danamebi, cuyas obras maestras culinarias no han sido superadas ni por los mejores de nuestros modernos chefs. Si logro dar con las ruinas de un templo que, según dicen, se encuentra en algún lugar del bosque de Beauclair, encontraré todas sus legendarias recetas. Por no mencionar los otros tesoros de incalculable valor que el gran maestro de los chefs guardaría en la cocina donde perfeccionaba su arte. El resto de la página está cubierto por una gran mancha grasienta. Encuentra el estudio de Gorton y busca el tesoro. Buah, pero esto... Mira, al final sí, esta misión la voy a hacer en 2 partes. Así que lo vamos a despedir aquí, pero un poco aquí más centrado, que aquí molesta menos la gente y no soy yo los gargajos. Así que nada, si os ha gustado el vídeo, dadle a like, suscribiros si no lo estáis, recordad que en la descripción del vídeo están mis redes sociales y el setup de IPPC. Y nada más, nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. ¡Hasta luego!